that all of those things are perfect, you don't even need to worry about the scores, because you know you still have areas to work on, right? So what can I control? What are my controllables? Ready?
Yes.
Yes, let's go, cameras on. Excellent.
3, 2, 1. Hello, this is our intermediate class at Easter Swing.
Intermediate competitors prep class.
This is Sean, my name is Alyssa. We're talking about some of the pillars to really help solidify you in this division and ways to start to push you further towards advanced.
We built our foundation off of the elements we talked about for novice and intermediate. If you want to kind of continue down this path, we're actually doing a whole 12-week series on our website starting May 17th, SeanAlyssa.com.
Check it out.
Ask us about that if you want, or check out the website. First, the novice elements that we talked about. Really crisp and clear timing, showing the difference between downbeat and upbeat, 2-beat increments. I should be able to see where the boom, tick, and tick are in the music. I should be able to see that really clearly, and that we're not rushing moments.
Yeah. Especially followers through that too. Those transitional moments, it can be really tempting to just think about, I gotta get to the other side, and then I'll have time to play. Right now, I'm gonna aim to actually have that critical timing through the middle of my pattern. That's gonna give me more space. So rather than one, land onto and fall onto it, I'm gonna think one and a two and that's gonna give me a little bit more space in that spot of time.
We kind of went over that way of counting critical timing by using rolling counts to kind of hold space in between the counts to make sure that we're not just stepping on them and moving by, but that we're holding space in between the counts. We went over quality of connection, trying to remove noise from the connection, so keeping things moving through space into the increments leaders rather than kind of jittering back and forth. We're trying to remove excess bounce or excess rotation of the wrist that doesn't have any purpose or meaning. If we need to rotate our body, we want to make sure that we're not actually starting from the wrist, we're rotating our body and keeping our frame actually unwinding into external rotation. And that we're trying to actually make sure that we're not having unnecessary drops or lifts in the hand as well. Setting that smooth baseline.
Well, we talked about maintenance of that position rather than having a lot of noise, extension, and contraction of your frame. Finding that position and holding it with the ability to have flex, right? Not going to be rough when you're in that position. And then making sure that I'm allowing my hand to connect with my body versus trying to ice at this point and move the body around that point. Because that's the point my leader is going to be based off of if that's an isolated action.
Content, so the things that we're looking for content-wise is just more variation in footwork, adding hitches in, adding more syncopations possibly, and then also adding higher level patterns like rock and goes, roll in, roll outs, multiple turns. You all had that down pretty well, so that's not an area you need to focus on, but we want to make sure that the space in between those moments is clean and crisp and smooth. Then in terms of musicality and highlighting the partner, light, we lower lights. So just finding that we're always staying in turnout, that we're using third foot position as our base foot position. So I'm starting there, I'm moving out of it, and then moving back into it, open and close third foot position. That when we rotate, we're not leaving that base leg behind, but we're letting that base leg rotate to keep those knees, heels, and hips turned out away from each other. When we're crossing over, we're still thinking about having those knees pointed out from each other, not crossing the foot over turned in. And we're looking for one bent, one straight leg, or two straight legs most of the time.
Unless you have two bent, if you have two bent legs, it's got to be interesting. So going through kind of that, at least that pattern is straight.
Two straight,
then straight,
two straight, then two straight, and then shifting into the bent. We were talking about, as a baseline, you can think about steps that happen underneath your body or slightly behind you. You roll from a bent leg to a straight leg. Roll, 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 roll. If you're stepping forward or sideways, you're going to usually strike onto a straight leg, from a straight leg, and roll onto it. And
same with lateral steps.
And strike. And so forward or side, striking straight, in place or behind, rolling to the foot. And then we're just really asking for more contrast and highlighting your musicality, so creating more moments for stillness after you're hitting something, making it a bigger moment and framing it a little bit better.
Yeah, we had you count through your eights to do that. So we had you count through the eights.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. We're asking you to kind of create a clear stopping moment where we're actually highlighting and saying the follower out most of the time, leaders, finding some way to put them in front of us and send energy to them on those moments. Hold, 2, 3, and 4.
And then jump. Right? We don't want to create a cool moment and then try to run from it to create another be digested and then moved at that point. Already talked about that like position. A lot of times it's going to be a bit open for me, especially if I did several turns in a row. This is a bit more stable position, pushing out into the ground. But that's one of the reasons why we also want to count is being ready for that phrase or that minor phrase at any point, right? And then being able and ready to get a position, a picture moment ready for that place.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, you were all wonderful. Thank you. Good luck.